Hey everyone, Anthony and Samia here for Signal by Sony, a show about everything Sony makes. Right now we're going to focus on a camera everyone is talking about, the new Sony Alpha A77. Now some of you might have seen the video we did when Sony made their press announcement in August, and since then lots of you have posted your questions in the Sony Camera Club on Flickr and all over the web, and we're going to take the time to answer some of them right now.
Alright, so question number 1 comes from Anthony Posey, who says, will the A77 be able to upload to the internet or be Wi-Fi ready? Now, he also noted that he's a field journalist and a photographer, so being able to upload photos to the web in places where he can't bring a laptop is extremely helpful. The A77 has no built-in Wi-Fi, but it does support iFi cards. Now, iFi cards are SD memory cards and SDHC cards with Wi-Fi capabilities. So if you use one inside the camera, it gives you the ability to wirelessly upload photos to a local computer. Some card types actually let you upload photos to specific photo sharing sites and social networks.
Yeah, those are super convenient, even if you're not working professionally as a journalist. All right, here's a question from AD Wheeler who wants to know, what is the maximum EV spacing in 3 and 5 auto exposure bracketing modes? Okay, so it's up to plus or minus 3 EV steps for 3 shots, and 5-shot bracketing can support anything up to plus or minus 0.7 EV. Moving on to DJ Huber, who says, so what is the usable ISO range? You know, like the range that will give a decent image with minimal noise without resorting to noise reduction. So the A77 camera offers users selectable ISO sensitivities up to 16,000. Now as for usable range, that's really in the eye of the beholder, but there are some test images posted by some websites out there that show some pretty good performance up through ISO 6400.
Alright, so there were quite a few questions about vertical grips, especially around compatibility. Now, right now the VG-C77AM is the only compatible battery grip for the A77. Now, it runs for about $380, which is fairly consistent with the price range for similar grips. Another common question we saw was about the A77 user manuals. Actually, people asked about user manuals for other cameras Sony announced too, like the NEX7 and the A65. Sony's instruction manuals are released at the time they start shipping, so the A77 instruction manual PDFs will be made available for download around mid-October.
Okay, FJ Burns says, is there a mode where I can set the aperture and shutter speed and have the camera select the ISO? This would be extremely useful when shooting sports. He also asks, why only a single card slot? The A700 had 2, so why not the A77? It should have 2 with the ability to store RAW on one and JPEG on the other, or video on one and stills on the other. So in the case of the A77, the only mode in which aperture and shutter speed can be manually selected is in full manual mode, which also requires an ISO to be selected. As for the dual card slots, Sony does see it as an advantage, particularly in that programmability that you mentioned. However, this is the kind of feature that's pretty rare in the price class of the A77, which is in that $1,400 range. So that feature is mostly found in significantly more expensive professional class models.
Anyway, we've got tons more questions from you guys. We wish we could answer them all, but we are running out of time. The good news is we're not leaving you hanging. The Sony Camera Team posted a huge Q&A along with sample shots you requested on the Sony Camera Club on Flickr, so be sure to check that out. And to stay on top of everything Sony makes, be sure to watch more Signal videos at youtube.com/signal or sony.com/signal, or catch us on the go through our Signal apps for iPhone and Android. For now, this is Samia and Anthony signing off.